Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Now, it's a news video. It's an update. It's information. It's our first sale, potentially advancing, progressing really quickly. Loftus-Cheek to AC Milan. He's in advanced talks with them at the moment, progressing very well. This has been reported by Fabrizio Romano, as good as it gets, and the player is very interested in the move, and like I said, it's going in the direction of him moving to AC Milan. The fee is still unknown, still undisclosed, but it seems like a deal that has a lot of legs and it's going to get done quite quickly. I assume it's definitely a player that I think we have on our sale list, on our list of players that can exit, that can go for no problems, no queries, no questions, because we need to, of course, make big sales. And I think this is a massive moment in our season already, because we know how many players we need to get rid of, and every single player that we do get rid of, it just takes the pressure off of Pochettino, takes the pressure off of the preseason, and condenses and consolidates that squad to a normal, healthy size, especially for a team that will not be in Europe next season, that will, play their 38 games plus, maybe 10 or so in the cup. We'll be in an extra round of the Carabao, but we won't have any European football. That is clear and confirmed, and we're really going to make top 10, really, when you look at the points difference to Fulham. So we really don't need a massive squad, people. We really don't, and we've got young players that can maybe fill out those last few places in that squad, but we don't need a big squad. And that is why sales is huge, because we see the issues that it's caused this season in terms of, players getting changed outside of the dressing room. People are on their Nintendo DSs and PSPs when they should be listening to tactics. You can't even get the information across to half of them because there's just too many people on a Monday morning to talk to. Probably forgetting names at this point. Massive 35-man squad, and not only is the squad that you see currently existing that's too big, but there's also loanees coming back as well in the summer that are going to need to leave, some of them. So talking about Calamason-Adoys, Ampadu, Baba Ramen Noodles. There's so many players that need to be sold. So Loftus-Cheek on his way to AC Milan, almost done, it seems, is a big bit of news. And listen, I got a lot of love for Loftus-Cheek. I used to call him Brick on Skates, and that's because he's a tank. He's strong, he's well built, well equipped. He's always been like that from the academy days. He's always been taller, stronger, and more graceful than anybody else. But why I say Brick on Skates is because he was a dancer. This guy could drift, on that left half space in the 8 position with Eden Hazard in the Sarri days, and we all know that was probably Loftus-Cheek's best time at Chelsea, to be completely honest. Him playing in midfield 3, coming on for sometimes Ross Barkley, that was the substitution that I remember so often, but we really did start to see him start games as well. Connection with Hazard was incredible at times, and the Stamford Bridge game in particular, where they both scored and curled it into the top corner, and they was both on Twitter saying my one was better. It was beautiful times, I'm not gonna lie. And he's a trailblazer. We know that we had John Terry come through the academy, but in terms of this crop that we had come through, the Tammies, the Tomoris, the Mounts, the James, Reece James, all of these players that have come through the academy. This guy is the guy that you put a photo, you frame it, and you stick it up on the Cobham walls, and this is your leader. This is your guy. The ultimate, the first of this crop that came through, broke down the barriers, the doors under many managers when it wasn't easy. We all know the kind of brush that we were tarnished with, which was we don't let academy players come through, we don't promote youth, we're always buying, and he was the first one that really broke out in those recent times, before this next youth batch just started coming, and the next thing you know, we're a factory. Do you know what I mean? The conveyor belt just never ends, and the amount of young players we bring through now is really good for a top club. But he was the first, and he, like I said, he was brilliant under Sarri, man. And I'm gonna listen, you have to have a lot of love for Loftus-Cheek, the perseverance, the persistence to continue to keep coming back from injury after injury after injury, and do a damn good job in the last couple of years as a squad player. He's played right wing back, he's altered and diversified his game to be able to play sometimes in that 2. I didn't like him when he was playing in that 6 at home, and we got absolutely destroyed. I think it was against Bournemouth last year. But listen, he has worked on his defensive side of the game. He has shown different qualities now, as to not just playing as an advanced midfielder, but also coming and helping defensively, playing wing back, like I said, out of position, but still doing a job for the team. But I've always, and I've said this many a time, I've always wanted Loftus-Cheek. I've wanted more for him, because the amount of talent that we saw in that season, and of course it came to a terrible end with that friendly in Boston against the New England Revolution team in that friendly on that pitch. Great cause we were going out there for, but that was a massive Achilles injury that took him out for a year, and we never got the same Loftus-Cheek ever again. Good loans at Palace and an exciting player. Like I said, very, very explosive, very quick, wonderful little turn as well. If you remember in the Carabao Cup final as against Manchester City, we did lose that game in the end, but this guy, I mean, some of the little flicks, the little pops around the corner, little nutmegs. He's just he had so much potential. He had so much potential. He had a bit of everything. And all he needed to really work on at that time, because he could always carry the ball, he was always strong enough to shield it. He brought goals to his game as well. I remember the goal at Cardiff. All he needed to do was work on his final ball, because that final ball that he played for Hazard in that game, if you remember it, that Carabao Cup final, inch perfect pass. But sometimes his passes would be overweighted or underweighted, and he just needed to work on that final pass. That was literally all I could really see that was missing from his game. And that injury just killed him. It really did. It killed him, killed his momentum, killed his flow. Obviously, we changed manager as well, and then plans change, and it's tough after that. But he's just been so willing to keep going and try and make it. And he wanted clearly to be a one-club man. If there's anybody that screams Chelsea and wants to be at Chelsea, it's Loftus-Cheek. But I've always wanted more for him. I've always wanted him to be a big part of the team, but couldn't be a big part of our team because, let's just be honest, he just wasn't good enough. In the end, after that injury, he just never reached that level again. Maybe he didn't get played in that position enough times, people will say. But listen, unfortunately, football is a very ruthless sport. And when you're at your kind of rise, if you don't rise to the summit, then there's always players coming in after you. There's always young players coming in. Next it's Mount, then it's this player, then it's that player, and then you suddenly are not the new shiny, Cobham graduate. You're just one of the dusty ones. Do you know what I'm saying? So now it's difficult to continue to keep proving yourself over and over again. And I want a big role for him. And I think going to AC Milan, a big, prestigious, historic club. Lots of standing in Europe. Of course, it's been a rough season for them. They've just been knocked out of the Champions League semi-final, but he's going there and I think he's gonna smash it. You look at the players that go over to Serie A and redeem themselves almost, or they revitalize themselves, rejuvenate. The Ashley Youngs go over there, the Darmians go over there, the Mkhitaryan's go over there. The Giroux. They age gracefully over there. They really do. And Loftus-Cheek is still young. Do you know what I mean? He's not old. He's not young. He's not old. He's not Ashley Young, but he's not old. So I think he can go over there, and I think he can smash it. If you think about the left-hand side, what it has to offer. Theo Hernandez, you've got Rafael Leao. You stick a little Loftus-Cheek in there as well, you're cooking. You're potentially cooking. Next to my brother Torlini. Do you know what I mean? Torlini. Listen, it could work. Listen, that right there, that could get going. Leao's going to sign a new contract. They still got more things to add to that team. Tomori's there, obviously he's had a couple tough games here and there in the Champions League, but again, the Cobham boys are over there as well. So this brother, you better learn Italian. Yeah, you better learn Italian, and you've got Tomori there, you've got Tammy Abraham out there. So it's like a little Cobham reunion as well. So it's not even like we're just sending him to any which way, place and could he settle in, would he struggle? Yes, he's got to learn a new language. It's a challenge that I think a lot of English players tend to be scared of to go overseas, but we're seeing them more and more go, especially at a younger age with Sancho, etc. And it's good to see a breath of fresh air for him, I think, kind of rejig and re-kick his career. And a fresh challenge, because it can get a little bit stale, more of the same at Cobham, a little bit maybe too easy, too complacent, you're too familiar with your surroundings. You're too comfortable in your own ends, as they would not say. But this guy now, it's time for him to go and do something new. It's time for him to go and be a big part of the team. Go and take big responsibility. Being a rotational player is cool, but go and be a big part of the team. Go and be a starter. Go and be a mainstay. Go and bring the Serie A title back to that club. That will be the ambition. That will be the aim. So he'll be playing European football next season as well. They'll definitely qualify for Europa League minimum, and that's something that you're not going to get at Chelsea. So, that's a step up. But yeah, man, I'm happy for him. I think he's going to it seems like he's keen on the move. Like I said, the move is basically almost done. I think he needs to move as well. And we've got players coming through. We've got Andre Santos that we've purchased. He needs minutes. If he's going to get that work permanent over the summer, we're not got many games to rotate as it is with the Cup. We're not in Europe, so we need to be able to give these guys a chance. And his serviceable role of right wing back, not only are we not playing wing backs anymore, but we've got Gusto coming in who would play that role anyway with Reece James, so you don't need him there. So you don't really need him in midfield, if I'm being completely honest, because we're keeping Kante, it seems. We're still waiting on that new contract. We're signing a new midfielder, maybe two. We got Enzo, and we still have Mount and Gallagher's futures to sort out as well as Carney and Andre Santos. We don't need Loftus-Cheek. Whether people you know, emotional attachment aside, we don't need Loftus-Cheek. What we do need is money, yeah? So AC Milan, you better not be mugging us off, because I know that this fee is not being disclosed. But if I see that this is a couple shillings, yeah, of the finest Queen Elizabeth, I'm trying to see some serious paper now. Yeah, put down some P's, because you lot, every time we deal with these Italian clubs, we just get these nasty fees. I'm not expecting anything crazy, but don't come to me with 2 shillings, you know, slap it down on the table and tell me, you know, I'm walking out the shop. That meme. Don't play those games with us, because we've been very good to you, AC Milan. Funnily enough, we have a good relationship with you. You know, Giroud, Tomori, and now Loftus-Cheek, and we didn't even take Leao. You know what I mean? So, you know, we beat you in the Champions League twice, but you still progressed and you did your thing this year. So let's be nice now. Let's be nice. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this move. It's potentially looking like it's going to be our first sale. We can tick this one off the list. We move on to the next. This is how quick it needs to be. We need to start now. A lot of people are saying, why have the sales not started? Of course, the manager's not been appointed officially. Well, now you look like you're going to get your first sale, and thank God, because there's so many sales to get done. We can't afford to be too emotional, to be crying into our tissues, blubbering, whinging, whining. Oh, why didn't you sell this one first instead of that one? It's not going to go in order of who you want sold. It's going to be bang, 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 bang. And that's how it has to be, because we don't have time to waste. We get this one done, we move on to the next. This needs to be swift, this needs to be cutthroat, this needs to be not emotional, this needs to be mad, and that's what we're gonna get it. So let me know what you think in the comments down below of the move, and even just the fact that it's AC Milan as well in terms of the choice of team. How do you think he's gonna do over there? Let me know in the comments down below. Big up your damn selves, make sure you smash up the likes, and I'll see you guys next time. In a bit, people. Peace.